Okie dokie. It's going.
All right. Hey guys, welcome back to Holy Shit, We're Parents, the podcast where we try to raise emotionally intelligent tiny humans while also unlearning half the crap we were raised with. I'm your doula and co-host Hannah.
We changed the intro?
Oh,
Nobody told me.
Because it was a special. That was at the beginning of the outline. I thought you had looked at it.
I looked at the topics and stuff.
Holy shit, we're parents. Hey guys, this is your doula Hannah. You're listening to Holy Shit, We're Parents, the podcast where I, as a birthing and early child care professional, talk about making babies, birthing babies, and trying not to lose our minds raising them with my ADHD only child husband who has never cracked a parenting book, Justin.
Hello. So today is, in fact, a normal episode, not a very special episode. It's just we're trying to sneak in a recording so we can get this one released right before Halloween instead of covering this at some random time or having to wait a whole year because hopefully we're still around in a year. But today we are going to talk about, and I'm sure you have a nice, really cool title for the episode, but we're going to talk about how fucked up it is to kind of like intentionally terrify your child. And I'm not talking like, little jump scares around the house, just to get that like, oh, and then everybody laughs and, we have fun. I'm talking about the videos that you see online where the child is in tears and the adults around them are all, for the lack of a better term, pointing and laughing.
Yeah, absolutely. And so like I saw a reel the other day of some parents jumping out of a closet in a scream mask while their like 3-year-old was sobbing, and the caption was, "Oh, Halloween memories." And it was like, man, that's not a memory. That is a fucking core wound.
Yeah,
That's
maybe
trauma.
they mean like Halloween memories in the sense that, is this one of the things that inspired Michael Myers to kill people?
Right? Yeah, this is like their villain origin story.
Yeah.
And, I think some of what we're seeing is because we grew up in that America's Funniest Home Videos era. So, like, kids getting scared or falling or crying has been seen as comedy. And,
and now those people don't have to wait for any sort of feedback or gratification on what they just did. You know what I mean? They don't have to make the video, put it on a cassette tape, mail the cassette tape in, hope Bob Saget sees it and then talks about it. It's, I put this online, anybody can potentially help it go viral, and I get all this like, oh, everybody loves me instantly.
Yeah.
So I think that is making it way worse. Not to say this didn't happen, because one of the reasons that I think I wanted to do this so much is because one of my most vivid Halloween memories, and vivid in the sense that it seems to like drown out all other Halloween memories. So not like a positive vividness. It was when I was not like super little either. I was probably like older than I want to be in the story, but 9 or 10. And we were in a friend's neighborhood in Atlanta, because again, I lived in a neighborhood of old people. So went over to a strange neighborhood and was, trick-or-treating, having a great time. And obviously as a kid, no internet. I was never exposed to like quote unquote Halloween traditions. Had the guy on the porch dressed as a scarecrow or something scary shit move and chase me off the porch. And I can remember just like running back to where the parents were out by the road, because it was one of those neighborhoods with like long driveways.
Yeah.
And like nobody gave a shit. Like because it just like, I don't think anybody thought it was a big deal. But again, here I am, like an old person still, that is like the Halloween thing I remember, and not for a good, not a positive. I remember plenty of other holidays that have amazing memories around it, like Christmas. One of the big Christmas memories that drowns out a lot is the year that I was like starting to not believe in Santa. So my dad, quote, accidentally left the camera set up like the night before on Christmas Eve, like to have it ready, and captured Santa Claus coming in, delivering my presents, and then like I'm pretty sure like petting the cat who was on the
Aw.
chair and then leaving.
Yeah.
So like what an awesome memory to have, especially now that, I know what it was, and my dad will still say that if there's love in your heart, then it was Santa Claus. But it was my dad took it upon himself to create this whole, scenario, and how awesome, that's a
Yeah.
great memory. So that's, I think, why I wanted to talk about this and get it out before Halloween. Not that we're influencing anybody's decision making, but hopefully somebody will think twice before intentionally putting their kid into a situation that terrifies them. And I'm sure we'll get into this. We're not talking like fun, silly, spooky, like don't get me wrong, we like our kids love skeleton toys, but they're not like the remains of a dead body that's gonna come back to life and get
Right.
them. It's Skelly and then like Skelly's friends.
Yeah.
Or it's
Or the
Ghosty.
ones down the road that our toddler has lovingly named Ralph and Schmelf, and they're these big, terrifying, ominous 10-foot tall skeletons, but we make it fun so he's not afraid of them.
Exactly, because the point is to have fun.
Yes.
And if a little bit of fear instigates that fun, that's one thing. But if that fear becomes the entire, I guess, emotion that you're getting or your child is getting out of this situation, maybe we should consider if that's the best thing to do right now.
Yeah. And so, like, to get a little evidence based sciency about it, a child's amygdala, which is the part of the brain that processes fear, develops super early. So, like, that's a base instinctual, I should be afraid of this kind of thing.
I mean, yeah, for survival.
Right.
That makes sense.
But the prefrontal cortex, as many of us have learned, doesn't fully mature until your mid 20s. I would say at the earliest.
And then I think those things vary from gender and then
Yeah,
from person
there's
to
all
person.
sorts of different factors. And so that prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain that regulates your logic and your emotional control. So to kind of translate that, kids feel fear intensely, but have no ability to rationalize it. So when you're scaring a child, their brain literally cannot separate this is pretend from I'm in danger. So their fear center is like, holy shit, I'm gonna die. And there's no getting around that. If you are intensely scaring your child, their brain is telling them, I'm gonna die. And they don't even know what that means yet. So that's horrifying.
Which is, oh man, that's got me into this whole other thing. I'm sorry, the ADHD thing, but I've been thinking about lately, like, how do kids think? Because like I'm a very word based thinker, so I'm just like, I don't know many words. How are they thinking? But yeah, um, I think that a lot of people might forget that, like, oh, I know it's fake,
Yeah.
and it's obviously fake to me. But again, like you just said, most children, and again, I'm sure some children have some ability if it's explained to them to rationalize it. But
Right.
again, if it is explained to them, but most children are going to have zero ability because nobody's even taken the time to like explain to them, hey, we're gonna go do this thing that's scary, but don't worry, like it's not real.
It's
It's
all
like
just pretend.
it's all just pretend. It's gonna be a little scary, and that's the point. But nobody is actually going to kill you, you know.
Right.
And if that's not explained to them, how do they know? Because again, as people, like we know very little. Like our instincts even are not great,
Yeah.
like compared to other animals. Like we are dumb creatures. Everything we know, we have learned.
Right.
So if nobody has taught us, or we have not had the ability for our brain to essentially maybe get the ability to teach itself this, how the hell would they know?
Exactly. And so, like you were saying, there's a difference between like fun spooky on Halloween and actual terror. Like there's a difference between, our plastic skeleton who our toddler named Skelly on the front porch, and being in a dark room with a motion sensor clown that's going to jump in your face when your child has no context for what the fuck that is and what the fuck it's going to do to them.
Sorry, I just had to adjust my mic a little bit. I also want to like shoot. I just lost it moving my mic, but it was something about like Oh, that's what it was. Like our kids and most kids are exposed to Halloween decorations first,
Yes.
right? So they see a Halloween decoration on a chair or whatever set up in your house. Most of them look humanoid or whatever.
Yeah.
At least have a face of some kind. You can explain to them, oh, it's fake, blah blah blah, and they can be completely comfortable with that and like knowledgeable in that fact. But then what happens to like their trust in what you've taught them and in just like things in general when all of a sudden they go to a porch and that thing that never moves jumps up and chases them yelling?
Right. Terrifying. And you are supposed to be that safe space because
It's your
this
job
loss
as a
works.
parent. Like
Yeah.
you're supposed to be who they run to, not, and I mean, probably people are going to think it sounds extreme, not run from in terror.
Right.
And I think, unfortunately, a lot of people's experience, our age and maybe and older, is probably being somewhat afraid of their parents, so they might not understand why that's not good.
Yeah.
So it's just like,
Exactly.
oh well, they should be afraid of me, so they listen to me and respect me and blah blah blah. So this is just another layer on that cake when like that whole cake is spoiled and rotten, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yeah, I won't eat that cake. Well, and along those lines, like, oh, this is just another layer to it. There's also the parents who are like, oh, I just want to, I want them to be brave. Like, this is how you make them resilient and brave. But like, courage and resilience comes from feeling safe first and not being tricked by the people who you rely on for your safety. And like how we were talking earlier today about how like being scared and learning how to deal with that is really important. But the fear should not be stemming from the people who are your safety.
Yeah, and also like I want our kids to be brave, but I don't want them to feel like they have to be brave at home
Yeah.
or with us. Like I want them to feel like all of that mental energy that would be put towards being brave can go to dumb kid shit
Right.
because I'm being brave for the both of us.
Exactly. And like when kids are scared, their sympathetic nervous system activates and like your heart rate spikes, you flood with cortisol, your body kind of goes into that fight, flight, or freeze mode. And if you repeatedly activate that, especially in a short period of time, like out trick or treating, and that happens, you get chased from multiple porches or something, there's there's no repair. So you're stuck in that dysregulated mode and continue to flood with cortisol. And that happening at a really young age can cause a lot of anxiety and other mental health disorders as an adult.
Oh, that's something I never even like
Yeah.
thought of, was how that affects brain chemistry and construction basically, and how it's made. I was kind of more just thinking about like the memories and stuff like that. That's crazy.
Yeah. Like everything you're doing with your kids as a kid is a foundation for something.
Well, yeah, kids are people.
Right.
Yeah.
Holy shit, we're parents. This episode is brought to you by Booby Superfoods, the real MVPs of postpartum snacks. Whether you're breastfeeding, chasing toddlers, or just need something that doesn't make you feel like garbage, Booby's got you. Get 10% off your order at boobysuperfoods.com/revive and thrive. That's BOOBIE superfoods.com/revive and thrive. Because your boobs and your sanity deserve nice things. Okay, moms. If you're still living in those crusty maternity leggings from 3 babies ago, it's time. Comfort sweats are basically the uniform for surviving parenthood. Soft, high quality, and somehow still cute even when covered in spit up. Go to comfort.com/Hannah66030 for 10% off your order. That's cmfrt.com/HANNAH66030. Because if you can't have peace and quiet, at least you can have comfy pants. Holy shit, we're parents.
And I think, another thing is, and I think that goes back to like the brain development, is that people think, oh, I like to watch scary movies, or I like to go to haunted houses, so my kid will too.
Yeah.
And that's not necessarily true. Like, your kid is allowed to be their own person. And I think, again, I know a lot of people are going to look at us as siding with the kids too much. I don't know, but
I think the other thing to think about is like you gotta let your kids choose their I want to be scared of this. So like when I was a kid, I was petrified of haunted houses, which was a bummer for my dad because he loved them. And we would go and I would make it about 10 feet before I'd be crying and asking for the emergency exit, which that was one thing he was good about was like, okay, let's go. And he'd cover my eyes and get me out. But I love ghost stories. I love ghost tours. Like, so I like scaring myself and being afraid, but in the right environment. And your kids are allowed to pick those things too.
well, and I also want to like touch on how those things are completely different.
Yeah.
Like, one thing about like being frightened on the safety of your couch, like snuggled up to somebody who you love and that you feel safe around, that's on one end of the spectrum. Then again, being in a strange place that's dark, you're kind of being like herded through in a haunted house. Literally, somebody could kill you.
Right.
Like, that person could have a not fake knife,
Right.
and it would be not a good idea for them because, escape, whatever, like, they would get found out, but it could
Yeah.
happen. Michael Myers is not going to come out of the TV and get us.
But even that, like, I like going on ghost tours. And in my mind, I think it's kind of funny to think about because it's like, oh, these are stories about people that really existed and things that likely really happened. But I like that kind of scare of, but it was in the past. And if something happens now, you're probably just making it up in your brain, not somebody else is making this up and shoving it in your face.
Well, yeah, or like a literal physical person jumping out
Right.
and like invading your space and, you know, looking and feeling like they are literally going to get you is completely different than, again, the safety of your own imagination. Because, like, yes, it can be a lot scarier than the real thing, but you can also work on logically having a part where you're like, but this is just my imagination.
Yeah.
You can't really do that with a person throwing themselves at you physically. You can't say, oh, well, this isn't really happening, because it is. They're maybe not going to really kill you, but there's really still a big person you don't know dressed as a thing that is not human running at you as this teeny little child human.
Yeah.
You
And
know what I mean?
actually, that just triggered two super distinct memories in my brain of the year I stopped liking haunted houses and haunted mazes and stuff. And I think I was 12. And we went to one haunted house, and there was a hallway with what looked like all these like rubber gloves hanging down on both sides of the walls, and you had to walk through it, but some of the gloves actually had hands in them. And one of them like cupped my chin and grabbed my face, and I was just like, holy shit, what? And that was like the first time I got super, super scared because I was like, they can touch me? Like, what? This is a whole new level of fear. And then I don't think it was the same day, but that same Halloween season, I went to a haunted maze after having gone to this haunted house. And that was the first time I like wussed out of a haunted anything. was a guy came running up in a werewolf costume, but he was like 8 feet tall because he was holding the head of the werewolf like up inside the costume. And I was actually with my cousin Jordy for that one, and we got kicked out because I started to cry and he thought it was funny and started to like breathe down at my face while I was like curling up, and Jordy punched him in the stomach because she knew he was holding it. And so he dropped his head and we got pulled out of that maze. Becker Farms. Good
Oh,
times.
well, good. So you
But
got
yeah,
out.
that was the year it happened, and that was my first time leaving a haunted house, and I never made it through another one again.
Wow. See, that's funny because that kind of reminded me of a scenario when I finally became okay with the jump scares because obviously
Yeah.
I think I was traumatized from this experience. So, like, jump scares, as you know, get me. I'm super vulnerable to jump scares. I can literally, like, see you walk into the bathroom, and then if I walk by the bathroom, you couldn't jump out, and I will be
Yeah.
reactive. Um, I can remember a time, going to haunted houses, trying to be like Mr. Tough Guy in your teens and stuff like that. I was always somebody who was very comfortable just being like, no, like,
Yeah.
no, I don't do that shit. But finally did not make it very far because in this particular haunted house, and in hindsight, oh my god, the like artistry behind it was amazing. Went into this elevator and they like shook it, and the way like they moved lights, it literally felt like you went down into this basement because it was like a cabin in the woods type haunted house. So
Yeah.
you like went into this weird old scary cabin and then like went into this elevator, and next thing you came out and you were like, subterranean lab basically. I made it a room or two off the elevator and saw an exit. Bam, I was out.
Was that at the Galleria?
Probably. It was like a one of those like multi.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I chickened out on the same one.
yeah. But knowing I could leave them, the next Halloween went back, and this time it was with another couple also, but did all the haunted houses.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. Like knowing I could leave and get out of it helped me be able to get through them.
I think the only time I've made it through those haunted houses was when we first started dating. So 15 years ago, I was an adult. And I clung to you the entire time, but you helped me get through it. And that was the first time I had made it through a haunted house since I was 12.
Well, cool. I mean, there are still some that I won't do, like in Clifton Hill and stuff.
Yeah.
Nah, there's that one with the one that takes the picture. I'm sure everybody has seen the photos because I'm pretty sure they like a car is gonna hit you or
Yeah.
something, and then they flash the picture. Uh, I'm pretty sure that one was scary. I literally had my eyes closed and was like clinging to my buddy in front of me the whole time because
Same.
it
I
was
got
like
carried through
a
that one.
group of like 4 or 5 of us dudes going through. And I was just like, I'm not in the front and I'm not in the back and my eyes are shut. Who's guiding me?
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that one as well. That was right on Clifton Hill, and that is the one that you can look up online, all those pictures, because they're absolutely ridiculous, and it's that car, like, blares a horn and flashes its headlights and comes flying at you, and that's the only part I had my eyes open for.
I
Yeah,
was
I
I
got
was
literally carried through that
like
one.
very lucky that my friend group when we were younger was like not weird about like showing affection and emotion and things with each other because like I was buried in I can't remember who's back, but like looking at the picture afterwards, I was not even visible because
Yeah.
I was just like head buried in just the person's back in front of me.
And again, like, these stories, we were teenagers or older, so people are doing this shit to their little ass kids and not thinking about long-term repercussions.
Well, and maybe not thinking about like, hey, maybe if I wait 3 or 4 years, this could be something we do together instead of something that scars or traumatizes them.
Right. Well, and it seems like a lot of them are just doing it for the fucking social media clout. Like,
Well, now, yeah, but again, I do want to highlight because
It's been going on for a long time. Yeah.
exactly, like it's nothing new. This is,
Right.
if anything, it's getting better and worse at the same time. Does that make sense? Because the social media is making it worse,
Yeah.
but then I do think there are a lot of folks out there who are just a lot more knowledgeable on the long term like implications
Right.
of what terrifying your child does. And again,
Yes.
not scaring your kid. Like we're not talking about that. I want to get that clear because I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh, you're supposed to be scared and learn how to deal with it. And it's like, yeah, but you're not supposed to be terrified by, you know, people that you trust
Yeah.
or at the like least, laughed at or not comforted by those people in that moment of terror. I don't think that is going to help you learn how to deal with it.
No, and the laughing at them can be some of the worst things because, like, when your child freaks out and is scared or upset and they see that you think it's funny, they're gonna realize, like, oh, my emotions don't matter. My emotions are entertaining for my parents. And then those are the people who grow up dating assholes and gaslighters and become people pleasers and are constantly seeking validation for what they're feeling instead of feeling safe and comfortable in who they are.
You just described like our whole generation.
Right. But I mean, so again, like you were saying, there's spooky, there's scary. Like you can do practical things to celebrate Halloween. Halloween is my favorite holiday. Yes, it's a holiday. And like keep it fun. You can be at home feeling safe on your couch watching spooky, not terrifying movies. Like I'm not saying watch Saw with your kids. I'm saying watch Casper and the Addams Family.
Mm.
Or
Yo, Casper was on at the gym. This is gonna be a tangent. Casper was on at the gym. Bruh. Like, I know I'm an adult, so I'm like thinking about it differently. A kid's just watching the movie having fun. I'm not saying don't watch it with your kid. I'm saying watch it with your kid, but like watch it as an adult. Like, oh my god, I almost had an existential crisis on a fucking treadmill at the gym because like they kill her dad.
oh yeah, I never even thought about that.
Yeah, her dad is dead.
Oh shit.
And then like this girl basically has to pick between bringing the only friend she's ever had to life or maybe bringing her dad back to life if this ridiculous crazy contraption that she found by riding a chair through a house works.
What a fucked up thing that I never thought about.
Also, why was there a school Halloween party at the new girl's house? I don't know. Whatever. I'm sure that was explained like in a short little snippet, but I walked in late in the
Yeah, because
movie.
everybody wanted to be in the haunted house.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah. Like and
Yeah,
again,
what
that's an
the fuck?
interesting thing. Like also keep that in mind, watching some stuff, kids don't necessarily think about all things the way that we do. Like they do have this ability to, especially it seems like when it comes to television and movies and stuff, they have a little bit more of an ability to disconnect from the actual like what is happening and just be
Yeah.
entertained. Where I think as an adult, it kind of switches and you kind of just become a lot more connected with what you're visually seeing and
Right?
hearing and less just entertained.
Yeah, it never crossed my mind as a kid, like, oh shit, they just murdered her dad.
They didn't murder him. They were about to,
Uh,
and they just got him extremely intoxicated to the point that when he exited the bar, he fell into a giant hole in the street due to construction. That was how he died.
okay, but he definitely fucking died, and I never thought about that as a kid.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, the main antagonist chick literally kills herself to become a ghost. I'm pretty sure she kills herself on purpose. And like they get rid of her by like informing her that her like duty is done on earth or whatever. She has no unfinished business. And she just beams into light and just like, I don't know, goes into the universe. I was just like watching it like, I don't remember
Fuck,
thinking about
yeah.
anything as a kid. You know what I mean? You're just watching a movie. Casper, the friendly ghost, the friendly
Yeah.
ghost. Yeah. But then you're like, Wait a minute. Casper's a dead kid.
Right.
This girl's only friend is the dead kid. Her dad dies. She watches at least this like scary old lady dies. Then I'm pretty sure she kills her little henchman guy in front of all of them, and then he comes back as a ghost.
Fuck.
Yeah, I was just like,
What
whoa.
a
I'll probably cut
fucked
all
up
this out of the
movie.
episode because like it's a goofy tangent, and again, I'm not saying don't watch Casper. I'm saying watch Casper with your kids. Maybe just don't explain
What's
all that
happening?
much to them.
Other thing to do with your kids for Halloween is make sure you are like constantly, not constantly, but reminding them and teaching them this is pretend. Kids love pretend. They know what using their imagination is. They are going to understand when you say this is pretend. And that's something we do with our son when he gets scared of things on TV or whatever that aren't Halloween related. We remind him this is pretend. That's just silly. And that usually chills him out. So there's a great way of building resilience and courage without traumatizing our child.
Yeah, and like we tell him, oh, this is just pretend. This isn't real, and then ask him like, is this real? And then
Yeah.
he's like, no, just pretend. Just pretend. And again, it makes it, yeah, I think turns it into that fun experience in the child's mind that the parent thinks is happening when they're like doing the scare.
Yeah. Well, and then also remember your Halloween alternatives for the younger kids. There's Boo at the Zoo, there's pumpkin patches, there's so many fun things you can do without dumping them into the scary.
Yeah, and again, that kind of like just goes back to what I was saying about if we just wait a little bit, could this be a fun family outing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And not a traumatizing event that then makes doing it in the future a lot more difficult.
So that when they're adults eventually and talking to their kids, they don't sit and talk about the horrible things they remember from Halloween. They talk about the fun things they did with their parents.
Yeah, yeah. Did you have any social media, Reddit, anything like that? I know we kind of threw this together like a little last minute.
Yeah, I didn't. I tried to find some, but it was a very specific thing to search for that I just had a lot of people asking for advice on how do I approach Halloween with my little kids. And then I couldn't find the reel that I saw of those freaking parents jumping out of the scream masks.
I like scrolled past one this morning and was like, "Oh, huh, no, 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 it was gone."
Yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, I don't know that we need like specific instances to reinforce what we're saying. Like, your kids love pretending. You can have Halloween fun and trick or treating without betraying their trust and scaring the shit out of them. You don't need to traumatize your children for social media likes. Find a different stupid way to go viral if that's your goal. Be your kid's safe space. Don't laugh at them for what they're scared of. I don't care if they're scared of something you think is stupid. It's not stupid to them. They're still learning about the world. They're not an adult. They don't have that logic. Like, literally, do not have that logic built into their brain yet. All they have is that fear center, and you are in charge of co regulating that with them. Um,
Sorry, I'm just doing a quick our parenting search for Halloween and just some of the titles are funny though. Toddler sleeps with pumpkin every year. Reusing Halloween candy for Christmas! Exclamation point. A good one that I just saw here. Just a little reminder that Halloween and trick or treating, if you're doing it in the neighborhood, is just a great way to practice and reinforce traffic and road safety.
yeah.
Okay. We have anything else we wanted to touch on here?
No, I mean, again, it's so easy to have fun with your kids on Halloween. And don't be a fucking dick. Okay, well, that's it for today's episode of Holy Shit, We're Parents. Try not to be a dick this Halloween. Eat your candy tax. Have fun with your kids. And if you love this episode, related to this episode, realize you also have some traumatizing Halloween stories that are going to change how you approach it with your kids, be sure to hit follow, leave a review and share this with someone else who might also think we're pretty funny.
You can also follow us on social media at Holy Shit, We're Parents. You can follow me at Daddy Muscles _. You can follow Hannah.
At your doula Hannah.
And if you really love us and you want to throw some money at us, you can do so on Patreon, where for just $4 a month, you'll get early access to episodes, depending on how fast I edit and upload them, limited Discord access so you can chat with like minded parents, and access to monthly mini episodes like this one. For $10 a month, you'll get all those $4 goodies plus full Discord access where you can live chat with us while we record. You'll get access to live video recordings once we get that up and going, and access to additional mini episodes that will be a little bit longer, more in depth than the $4 stuff. And if you really, 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 really love us, for $50 a month, you'll get all those other things, plus a Thanks Mom shout out at the end of every episode. You'll be able to vote or recommend topics that we should cover and maybe even come on as a guest for those episodes if you'd like. And you'll get full access to Hannah's childbirth and parenting ebooks and workshops.
Well, holy shit, we're holy shit, we're holy shit, we're parents.